All right. So pardon me. Yesterday started out well. It's like one of those. Let's do it like a movie or a TV show where they show like bad stuff happening, and then they go back in time to the beginning of the day where everything is going well, leading up to that point. So yesterday, number 3 time, woke up, had coffee, answered comments, emails, stuff like that. Felt good. Went running for the 3rd time. 3 times, getting back into it after a couple of years, 2 years or so since I've left the preserve because I was always running on the trails. And I was able to do my parking lot to the structure and back nonstop. The time previous to that, I had to walk twice, less than a minute each time. But I did it nonstop and felt like I could have gone further. Excellent. Then I sent out Steve's bow, the Raven bow. And, okay, check that off my list. And a note, Steve, stringing it at 5 1/4 inches, brace height, which is low for like traditional archery, but you know, with me, my paddle bows and stuff, I typically do about 5 inches. At 5 1/4, after it relaxed, after resting, I was getting 49 pounds. If you bumped it up to 5 1/2, it would be a little more, but you can control the draw weight with the brace with these things. You know, a lot of bows. After a while, you know, and it's kind of weird. It'll relax when it's resting, be on the high side, and then after you string it and shoot, it'll go down. Rawhide acts a tiny bit like sinew. And then over time, too, it'll drop a little bit just because of age and use, and then it'll settle into its final thing. So it should be actually a little below 50. Then I wound up working on a couple Osage sinew-back bows. Wills, I should have brought it down. Currently, it looks like hell. I did all the woodwork, tillered it. The woodwork is nice. But then decided, because I just wasn't feeling the paint job over the sinew, sanded it off to a great degree, muted it in cases. It's going to be rawhide backed. It wants to be rawhide backed. It's going to be totally beautiful, but currently it looks like hell prior to rawhide backing. Then I sold this bow as a U-finish bow. It's a little short thing, 39 inches. And I would consider it a curiosity bow. You could certainly tiller it and use it and stuff like that. And it would be a bow, but it would be a very short native style bow. But because it's going into the hands of a young person, I think he's 13 or 14, he needs to have a user-friendly bow, not a curiosity bow. That's what I would actually call it. It would not be your primary bow unless you liked very short draw bows. So I reworked and rawhide backed an actual Osage bow that will be user-friendly for a 13 or 14-year-old and hopefully inspire him to become a bow maker. And I did some emailing, said, well, you know what? This is paying forward. Because he's a 13 or 14-year-old, he needs to get a user-friendly bow in his hand to inspire him to become a bow maker. So whatever, you know. Paying forward, I'm not even going to ask for any money. This is my attempt to create, in the mind of a kid, a future bow maker. So, karma. Here you go. Here's a beautiful little Osage bow that I rawhide backed. I'm going to make it cool with a little paint, you know, and perhaps I haven't figured that out yet, but it's going to be a good bow. Okay. Out of the way, got to start on another Osage bow. It's sitting right over there now. So I'm doing well. In Gabriel, I do have a hickory blank, the 50-inch one. And so I'm going to get that worked a little bit. Doing great. So here comes a UPS man. This is where everything falls apart. Steps off his truck and I can see it's a stave. It's that used stave I bought, right? Paid This is where it gets kind of murky. Because on the video, I chose it, $175, you know, plus shipping. I didn't realize the outfit was out of Canada, but once I got the invoice, because they gave me a day to pay for it or else the deal's off. $224? Okay. $224, paid for it, packed it up, shipped it. Nice. Everything is set. I'm going to get a U-Stave. Now, if it was 224 Canadian, that would be 162 American, 162 and change. I checked it. It's paid for. It's paid for. The UPS driver puts it in my hands, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is straight. There's a beautiful stave in here. And I'm looking at it thinking, it is so thick, I can probably get 2 bows out of here. Not going to get greedy, I'll get at least 1. If I can't easily and comfortably get 2 bows out of it, I'm not going to even try. Sometimes when you're greedy, as I say, you lose everything. Well, I'm holding it and looking at the package. Oh, this is awesome. This is awesome. Stave, just from the package, is beautiful. No knots, clean, straight. He's like, starts talking about $280. And I don't know what he's talking about. And he goes, oh, I'm going to need a $280 check or I can't release it to you. And I'm like, what? I've already paid for it. They wouldn't have shipped it if it wasn't paid for. And it's like, I'll be back Monday, you know, but I'll need a $280 check. And I'm like, don't even freaking bother. I'm not paying twice for this thing. If I paid $224 American, and keep in mind, if it was $224, turn off my alarm. There we go. $224 Canadian. Where the hell do you get $280 American out of this thing? Oh, so he takes it back. I don't know what's going on. You could, you know, politics, tariffs, all this, whatever. Not going there. It just really bugged me. So I emailed the company and said, the UPS driver told me that I had to pay $280 or else I wouldn't get the stave. I at first didn't mention the money. He said I demanded a check, and they go, well, it's probably just a mistake in the duties. And I said it was at $280 that they demanded. And I don't know what's going to happen now with this stave. But as I told the UPS driver, I would rather be out $225 that I paid for it than paying $500 total, paying twice for the same piece of wood. And it would be. If it was $224 American, that's what I paid. Plus another $280, it's over $500 for a piece of wood. I'm not going to do it. I would much rather just have thrown $224 into the rat hole, you know, than paying double again. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And then I'm thinking, well, how I do business is a bad way to do business and make money. When it's like I'm giving a bow to somebody, you know. So we'll see how this turns out. The saga of the U-Stave. What I'm not going to do is I'm not going to buy staves out of Canada anymore. Just this one thing has completely turned me off to it, you know. Whereas I could buy Pacific U from, I believe, Burl Quilt. Dave Robertson still sells U-Staves. We'll see. But somewhere in the U.S., somebody has to sell U-Staves. I'm not dealing with this international stuff anymore. It only took one time to get that U-Stave pulled out of my hands with a demand for $280 more. Say no mas. Not worth it. I could work with Osage. I could work with hickory. I could work with all sorts of things. Instead of going through the hassle of this thing. Well, didn't mean to rain on your parade, but I'm not going to have another bad day like that. We'll see. Maybe this U-Stave, maybe I will get it. The $280 will be erased. I don't know. I don't know. You know, I'll change my mind towards it. But right now, you know, I'm only going to freaking buy from companies within our country so I don't have to deal with these surprises. I'll tell you, when you get this beautiful stave in your hand, then it's taken away with the threat of having to pay another $280, that's enough for me to like, not going to do it. I'm not going to go through that again. Never have gone through that. Never, ever. Never, ever, ever. Well, with that, I shall draw this to a close.